Good morning, everyone. How are you all this morning? I like this Christmas stuff. Let's do another Christmas one, Bob. Let's do Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. Give me a chord. That's what Dean Martin used to say. Give me a chord. All right. Oh, are y'all ready? Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thy love, thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, letting thy dark street shine, the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wandering love. Oh, morning star together, proclaim thy holy birth, and praises sing to God our King, and peace to men on earth. And praises sing to God our King, and praise to men on earth. All right. Good morning. Sounded great, everybody. Good morning.
Give
How are
yourself
y'all
a
doing
clap.
this morning?
Clap. Give yourselves a hand. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
We want to welcome you to the Center of Unity. If you're here for the first time, we want to welcome you and say we are thrilled that you are here today. If you're joining us online, we also want to say welcome to joining us this week before Christmas. The energy is thick in my house. I mean, the kids are just absolutely crazy, giving them melatonin at night so they sleep. But it's a week away. We're really excited about that. But let's get ready for this next one. This is we've done this one before in the past. The words are going to be on the screen. Let's give it a shot. You want to get up for this one? Let's get up for this one. Peaceful the season, love every moment, light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, joy, 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 joy in our hearts. Every day is a choice to show some kindness. We are part of one family, so connected, our hearts and spirit. I reach out to you, you reach out for me. People of the season, love every moment, light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, joy, 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 joy in our hearts. Now is the time to come together to count your blessings. We are grateful. We lift our voices in one chorus. My brothers, my sisters, let's celebrate. For the season, love every moment, light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, joy, 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 joy in our hearts. For the season, love every moment, light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, joy, 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 joy in our hearts. Joy, 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 joy in our hearts.
Sunday morning is all about joy. So good to see all of you. So happy to know that we've got friends connecting with us from all over the country this morning through this miracle of technology. Although I have to say, it's nothing like a face-to-face hug to bring joy to my heart. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here today and to celebrate with you. This is the season, as Jeff said, we're counting the days down. I've got some grandchildren that are also chomping at the bit for Santa to make his arrival in just a few days, and know that there will be great joy in however we choose to celebrate this holy season. We're going to sing again, aren't we? All right, we're going to sing another one and get that energy and that joy flowing in our hearts.
All right. Well, this one's actually not a Christmas song. What?
Keep doing that because I got to light this candle.
All
You
right.
know what? This has been a morning. I just want to tell you. And bless Kenny back there. Nick is not here today. So we're doing our best. Just go along with us and be in the joy of the season. We're going to light the candle for joy.
Yeah, light the candle.
It's got to be complete. There we go.
There we are.
There we
There
go.
it is.
Joy is lit.
Hey! This one is not a Christmas song, I was going to tell you, but it might as well be. It says, you give life, you give love, you bring light to the darkness. And that's what happened on that night. When Jesus came into this earth, he brought light into the darkness. He brought healing. He brought restoration. He brought hope. Hope that so many people didn't have. So many people don't have today. He gives hope and life. Let's do this one. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. You give life. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give
Good morning. I'm Phyllis and this is Barbara. We're doing our best this morning without our props. Today's word is joy. Joyfully, I celebrate my oneness with God.
As the three wise men followed the star to Bethlehem to greet the newborn child, I followed my inner light and discovered the Christ within. As I approached the conclusion of Advent season, I realized that this, rather than material goods or creature comforts, is the source of my joy. The Christ within is the part of me that is always one with God. Omniscience.
It's right. God knows.
Omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. Okay, when I face challenging times such as now, I can draw from that inner wellspring of joy, my foundation of irrepressible strength and fortitude. I have within me the power to overcome any challenge. This day, this moment, I am joy-filled, and I celebrate the overflowing blessings of my divinity.
Amen. From Matthew 2:10, when they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy.
And as we have our healing prayer, I would remind you that these beautiful prayer care team members are here to support you in one-on-one prayer for 15 minutes in our prayer room to my left after this service. And we also hold all of these prayer requests that have been submitted to our prayer in abundance, in that energy of joy. In a special way, we just send our love and our healing energy out to Bill and Charlotte Winton as they continue to move through and find peace in this season in the midst of the challenges they're facing. God, we are just so grateful to know that we never walk this journey alone, that your love and your comfort, your strength and your guidance are always there to light the way and show us how we walk through even in the darkest of times. We lift up all these prayer requests into your loving care and rest in peace, knowing that all is well. And we simply say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen. Beautiful. Thank you, Bob, and all of our singers this morning. We're glad to have Noel with us today and glad to have, and I always get you guys confused, Beck. Huh? It's not Jude. It's Beck here with us today playing guitar. You know, we've been in this season of Advent now. This is our fourth and final Sunday celebrating it. And our focus has been about using this story that has been part of our human consciousness and awareness for thousands of years as a way to also have our own inner Bethlehem experience, as our way to awaken that Christ nature within each of us. We look at the characters and their process in their journey as a way to also guide us as how we can also have this same similar experience as the Christ did so many years ago. We are seeking this and always to give greater birth to our own sacred selves. And it starts with faith. Mary and Joseph demonstrated this faith as they were willing to step out, way outside of their own comfort zones, way outside of their understanding, and simply be willing to say yes to what had been called to each of them to play an important role in this. And I think for us, faith is that cornerstone because we have to first believe that there is that same divinity within us. How many of you believe that same divine presence, although fully expressed through Jesus the Christ, is also alive within us? That's where we have to start. We have to say yes and claim that for ourselves. To know that even though we're having this human experience, there is so much more that we are here to be and to do and to express into our lives. And as we claim that, as we embody that faith, so that we too can travel to this inner Bethlehem, intuition, we talked about on that second week, becomes our navigation system. It is what guides us because we can't just rely on our reasoning and our logic as we do in many of our day-to-day human activities. We have to move beyond that to follow the spiritual guidance that we have been given. It's our ability to grab hold of those divine ideas that show up and not simply dismiss them, but to know that there is a possibility in these if we're willing and we have the faith to say yes to them, just as those did long ago. And it is also our ability to trust it over what Herod represents, that egocentric ego, the one that is just fully enmeshed in this human journey. And usually, that part of us is really only interested in how we can stay safe. And it often involves how I can have control over what's happening, how I can have greater power over what's happening. This is a much different journey. This is a journey where we have to let all that go and trust in a higher voice and vision that is calling us into this new way of being. When we are willing to follow those two important and embody them, then we have the possibility to give greater birth to love, represented by this birth of this baby Jesus. And we're talking about love that just doesn't love when we're happy or because we're grateful that somebody did something for us or they're something that we gave birth to and so now we love it because it is at least reflected as a part of ourselves. This is a love that is no respecter of persons. I want you to hear that. This is a love that loves for the sake of loving. It doesn't care who it loves. It doesn't care what they've done or haven't done. It simply loves. That is the very energy of God. That is the very energy from which we've been created. You know, an interesting side note as we look at this early story of the birth of Jesus, there was no mention of animals in the stables. We don't have any here depicted in our nativity scene, but you often see them in just about every nativity scene out there. But they weren't described by any of those early apostles in the telling of the story. The earliest nativity that we found, which is typically about 100 years estimated, is this one up here. And it shows an ox and an ass as part of this birthing process. Some biblical scholars have said that the ox represents Israel, which they consider to be clean, and the ass represents the Gentiles, which in that time were considered unclean, at least by Jewish law. And that they were included in this process to demonstrate that this birthing of this new energy into the world will embrace all people. It is a God for all people. It is there for those who we consider worthy and those who we consider not worthy. And I think metaphysically, they sort of represent for us that duality of ourselves. You know, there's times that we feel ourselves to be worthy of all the good that we are experiencing in our lives, and there are times where maybe not so much, that our humanness has been the one, creating things out there, and we may not be that thrilled with what that looks like. It is the representation of what we see in ourselves both as good and bad, both as divine and human. It is the duality of our experience of this life. Some days we can claim and feel that expression of God moving through us, and other days that feels like it's still in some dark place that we have yet to shine the light into. So this final leg of our journey to this inner divine place of ourselves calls us to look beyond the day-to-day activities to the messages and the light that's calling us higher, that lift our vision to something new. The night that Jesus was born, there were shepherds watching their flocks in a nearby field. And they were terrified by this sudden great light appearing in the sky. And then they see the angel Gabriel. And he says, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of a great joy that will come to all of the people. For today, to you, in the city of David, is born a Savior, who is Christ the Lord." And the angel told them where to find the child in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothing. And then thousands of angels, we're told, appeared and lit up the sky, singing in one harmonious voice, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace among all men with whom he is pleased." These shepherds, obviously greatly changed and excited to go and find this child, immediately hurried to Bethlehem and find Mary and Joseph and the babe right where the angels had told them they would be. And the story goes on to say that as the shepherds shared this miraculous experience they had just had, Mary listened with her heart intently. You know, in the Bible, this is only the second time that a multitude of angels appear. A single angel appears many times in both the Old Testament and the New Testament, but this is one of those rare times when you don't just have one, you've got a heavenly host of angels. And from a storytelling, from a mythological point of view, it tells us that this is really important. When you have multitudes, the greater the numbers are, the author is trying to convey this was something very unusual and you should pay attention. The shepherds whom these angels appeared to were typically considered in their day sort of the lowest, maybe not the bottom rung, but pretty low down on the societal scheme. They were considered not very educated, dirty, rough. They weren't allowed in the temple because there was no way that they could have enough of a lifestyle that they would be considered ceremoniously clean. They were only allowed on the very outer skirts of being able to be a part of that community. Metaphysically, these represent for us, it's been suggested, those mundane daily thoughts that occupy the vast majority of our mind and the thoughts that we have repetitively throughout the day. They're that subconscious part of our brain that is always tending to things to make sure we don't forget and lose things. They get old and don't do so well, I'm discovering as I advance in age. I've worn them out apparently over the years trying to keep up with all my stuff, but they're the thoughts that are always going, what do I need to do next? Where are my keys? Did I forget to turn off the stove before I left the house? They're the thoughts that are constantly on guard for attacks that might be coming, those outer attacks. That's a person coming. Should I be wary of them? Are they going to be bringing me good tidings, or is it not so good news? We're constantly processing them stuff. An angel appearing in the midst of that going on is that higher part of our thinking and feeling nature, we can call it our intuitive nature, that says, hey, wait, pay attention to me. Something important is happening. Don't worry about that. Let those thoughts take care of themselves. Be present in this moment and see what gifts are available. Something bigger is happening. Something's greater is unfolding in this moment, and you should be present in it rather than thinking about what you have to do or some event that's already happened. To try and take a moment and not worry about those sheep thoughts. The angels call us to pay attention to the bigger picture, to step outside oftentimes of our comfort zone, which it certainly asked those shepherds to step outside of. They could have ignored it and just gone back. They said, well, if we have to leave, the wolves may come and kill our sheep, and there goes our livelihood. And yet, there was such an energy there. There was such a light that shone for them. It gave them the exact push that they needed. And so these angel ideas and thoughts that show up for us are there to give us a push, to see something different, to engage in a different way, and to know that you're capable of, and not just capable of, called to be so much more than what you've been up until this moment. They remind us not to be afraid. They tell us, don't be afraid. I know this is odd and different, and perhaps, something that you've never attempted to do before, but it's okay. We're with you. We're supporting you. They sing to the glory of the divine within you. They celebrate with you. There are angels all over this universe, I believe, that every time we invest more of ourselves in our passion, in our purpose, from the spiritual realms, there are multitudes that are doing a happy dance somewhere in the ethers. The instructions that the angels give to these shepherds that are giving to our own minds and hearts is to go and find our Savior, to go and find our Christed part, because that will support us in our journey. Your inner light, your divine self. And it can be found not in the middle of the glittering temple, but in the humble space of a manger. In order for us to be able to find the very best of ourselves, we must be willing, like the shepherds, to leave those daily thoughts, whether that's in a time of quietness or whether that's just an intentional, active design that we put into our day so that we can open ourselves and receive the divine inspiration that's always present for us, so that we can discover our own sacred place. Today, in this moment, there are angels. There's divine thoughts, divine understanding, guidance, illumination, all present right in this moment for each of us. They're ready to come and visit you, to support you in giving birth to greater faith and peace and love and joy. So as we move into a time of meditation, I would just invite you to let go of all of those daily ordinary thoughts just for these next few moments, to get comfortable where you are. We're going to bring the lights down just a little bit. You might want to close your eyes if that helps you focus inward, or there's this lovely nativity scene up here. You can just focus your eyes on that. And just take a deep breath with me. And as we breathe in the very breath of God into our lungs, as we release it, we just let go of all of those thoughts that inform us that we're not enough, that argue that we possibly couldn't be the one. Breathing in again, we let that breath breathe new light and new life into our minds and hearts. And as we let it go, we let go of what the past has been, or any ideas of what the future might hold. And just be present to what is unfolding in this moment, in this place, in this time. And in the quietness of our being, welcome the angels into this space. Welcome and acknowledge that divine spark from which you've been created. That in this holy season is seeking to be born in new ways. And simply allow the silence of this moment to be the space in which those angels can enliven, can lighten, can magnify all that you are being called to be and to do and to express as that divine light into our world. Just sit for a few moments and open your heart to receive. And know that this is not just a one-time event, that this energy, this light, this joy is available to you in each and every moment. Each moment where you set aside all of the human activity and simply say yes to that intuition, that guidance, those new thoughts and ideas that are always waiting to illumine. And we say yes. Say yes with a sense of joy, knowing that there is so much more that you can give to this world. There is so much more that you can give to yourself. There is so much more light waiting to be shined into the darkness that seems to envelop us at times. Give thanks to know that you never walk this journey without your angels, your guides, the love in your heart and your breath. And as you begin to bring your attention back to this time and place, aware of your body, aware of your breathing, aware of the sounds in the room, take another deep breath, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So this fourth Sunday of Advent is all about joy. It's the energy that is there that can move us into these new places that we're being called to experience life. It is the fulfillment of a divine idea received. Spiritually, it is always there as that inner fire that motivates us to do what we must do in order to cooperate with the creative activity of God. It is that part of us that is always pushing just a little bit, but it comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of joy. Since we've been talking about angels today, I wanted to share with you, and I think I did this, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it just spoke to me again. It disheartened me for a moment because it doesn't seem like we've made a whole lot of difference from the last time that I shared this, and yet I know that there's always greater light coming into our world. There's always greater opportunities for us to be that light. This was a message that was received from a friend of mine who has the ability to talk with angels, at least in a way that I don't. I haven't been able to connect with yet, but it seems important for us to know right now. It says that many of you speak of joy and wish for joy in your lives, and yet you do not fully understand the true meaning of joy in the context of spiritual service and the work of your soul. You confuse joy with happiness, and because you cannot be happy all the time, you feel that you have failed or you're not good enough. But we say to you, do not feel this way, beloved ones, especially at this difficult time in your planet's transition. Perhaps when I explain it to you further, you will understand more fully how you can be in the state of joy without necessarily being what might be called happy. Spiritual joy is a state of the heart and the soul. It is produced when the heart and the soul unite in the service of the greater good, such as the unfolding of the divine plan on the planet. It creates within the person a sense of contentment, acceptance, and serenity. A deep knowing that whatever might happen, it will all be for the highest good and the greatest good, according to divine decree. This knowledge produces spiritual fortitude and strength, even in adverse and difficult circumstances, such as those which many of you are now passing through. Courage will tell you this, that it will pass in time, and that when the awakening of the planet is complete, you will find and create states of happiness greater than even you can imagine. Serenity will enable you to remain calm and focused, even when the stress of the transition is great and you feel like you cannot go on. And joy will be the result, because you know that you are contributing your energy and your light to the unfolding of a greater plan and in service of the highest good. This is the meaning of joy.
world waits for a miracle. Heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. A child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. Can you hear the angels singing? Glory to the light of the world. Glory, the light of the world is here. Drought breaks with the tears of a mother. Baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Oh, here's the song of the suffering. Here's Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. longs for a little bit of hope. Oh, come, Emmanuel.
Yeah, there's just a little preview of Christmas Eve here. We're going to have all full voices here, full complement of singers and band and message and candles. And Gigi's going to be joining me. It's going to be an amazing evening, so we hope you'll join us, whether you can be here in person or join us online this coming Saturday at 5 p.m. And just a special reminder that we are not having Sunday services on Christmas Day, although for those of you who might want to gather with some other people and perhaps don't have family around, they're going to do a little potluck in the afternoon. just for some fun and food and a little social time. So you're welcome. They would love for you to sign up for that, though, just so we have an idea of how many people to expect. But it should be a wonderful celebratory Christmas Eve. And I know for many of you that have kids or grandkids, it's always a crazy Christmas morning. So lots of joy and energy will be filling the air. It is our opportunity now to share of our financial good with this spiritual community. And I would just ask you to infuse whatever it is you're giving, whether you give it through our committed giving program, whether you're giving it today, or even just the energy of that, with that full blessing of joy. Joy in knowing that it is part of completing and moving closer this divine plan, that we can do all that's ours to do, to welcome people in who are looking for the message that we offer as a way to add their light to the world. So let us join as we hold these in our hearts and in our hands and bless them together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I'm not, Father, Mother, God, I'm not sure what that meant, Kenny, but okay. We got her. Most of us know it, and if you didn't, you could sort of just mumble along with us and get the gist of it here. So the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row. You can place your gift in the big basket, and be sure to take a holiday blessing for you and allow that to guide you this week. Oh no, who's doing appreciation? That's what we do next.
Okay. If you're watching us for the first time, just forgive all the confusion. We're glad you have chosen to join us. We invite you to visit our website, at the Connect card, and if you're local, we invite you to visit in person. Sitting in us in person for the first time, please complete a visitor card found in the pew pocket in front of you or at the visitor desk in the lobby. And drop it in the box at the back of the sanctuary on your way out. Okay. I'm out of breath for some reason. Okay, appreciation. Elaine Murphy. She has been a member here for years, and she's been volunteering for almost as long as she's attended Center of Unity. She's filled just about every position that we have available and is always willing to pitch in wherever a need exists. Maybe it's because she's from Tennessee. Ooh, that's a pretty state too. The volunteer state, but Elaine embodies a true volunteer spirit. Next, we'll enjoy a short video, I hope, Kenny, but just a minute. But before we do, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. Are we good, Kenny?
Hello. This month's volunteer spotlight is Elaine Murphy. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning, BJ.
So tell us a little bit about the volunteer opportunities you have had here.
Okay. Well, for many, many years, I have been a greeter. I think that's my favorite job here. I really enjoy getting to know people, greeting them at the front door. For 6 years, I served on the care team, and that was a wonderful experience as well. There are many projects around the church that have to be done on a regular basis, everything from decorating and taking down decorations to cleaning out closets and landscaping and cleaning up the kitchen and all those things. So I tend to volunteer for a lot of those projects. And so those are some of the things I've done. I've also worked some in the children's program, and now I'm also a baby hugger. So those are really, really fun things to do.
Wonderful. So tell me, what does volunteering mean to you?
It means that I have the opportunity to give back to the church. The church has done a lot for me. I've grown so much spiritually through the classes that I've taken and through the Sunday messages that I feel I have an obligation to give back, and volunteering allows me to do that.
Well, wonderful, and thank you for your service. For more information about volunteer opportunities, please check out our website, centerofunity.org.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Invite your friends and family to join us on Christmas Eve as we complete our journey to our inner Bethlehem and give birth to the Christ child within. Come be uplifted and inspired by the lights, music, and messages. Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Invite your friends and family to join us on Christmas Eve as we complete our journey to our inner Bethlehem and give birth to the Christ child within. Come be uplifted and inspired by the lights, music, and messages this Christmas Eve. Bring a dish to share and join us at our Christmas Day potluck. If you want to take part in the White Elephant gift exchange, please bring one gift per person with a $20 value. No gag gifts, please. RSVP from the COU website or app by December 22nd. Beginning Sunday, January 8th, the Adult Sunday School will be a hybrid class of in-person and online, and will meet at 9:30 a.m. to discuss the previous Sunday's message. Join us in Fellowship Hall this New Year's Eve for the Burning Bowl ceremony with LUT Gigi Johnson. This powerful ceremony will help you focus on the symbolic release of what no longer serves you and allow you to invite greater good into your life in 2023. The first 5 people to sign up for the Committed Giving program will receive a $25 gift card to the restaurant of their choice. You can sign up for any amount and you can cancel whenever you like. So take advantage of the gift card offer and sign up by filling out a card or by calling the church office. Stop by Inner Journey today and see what surprises might be waiting for you this holiday season and receive 25% off your entire purchase. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, or use the COU or Venmo app. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And if you missed it the 2 times that we did it on the screen here, we are having a Christmas Eve service this Saturday evening at 5 o'clock, and it is going to be really, really cool and special and good for kids, too. We've got some cool stuff for them also. Bob, let's sing our kids in, shall we? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, good morning, everybody. All right, well, today was the 4th Sunday of Advent, and our lesson today for the younger ones was the tiny star, and then the older kids read and discussed the wise men visiting Bethlehem and finding Jesus. But some have 2 things to share.
Love is in you. Today we made little stars. We wrote behind the star what we show to the world.
Yeah, what they're bringing to the world.
We learned about that we have light in us.
That's it.
All right. Why don't we go ahead and stand up and join hands, and let's do our peace song together.
Into this day, into this week filled with the joy of living, we go knowing our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God, and the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.